Hi, my name is Ron.
And my name is LaShun.
Welcome back to Marriage Moments. Well, we got a good question that came across. We had a couple of them, but I think this one right here will be kind of interesting.
Very interesting. Okay, here's a scenario. The husband says that we got married 6 years ago, and my wife let me know that she wanted to stay in the house that she was born in only for 2 years to save up some money and so that we can buy a house together. The catch is her parents live in the home also, and they have been living there over 40 something years. Well, we have now been married for 7 years. We are still in the same place, and every year that I ask my wife talk to my wife about whether it's time to go or not, there always is an excuse. I am stumped, I am disappointed, and I am very frustrated. Her parents are hoarders, and our house is cluttered from the top to the bottom. A friend of mine told me to save up some money and just go buy a house and move her in it. What should I do?
Whew, that's a touchy one. That's a real touchy one. But in reality, if you got your parents staying above and it's been like 40 something years and you still connected, you still kind of attached.
Yeah.
So there should be something that should be set for real. I mean, not staying in the same thing. You know, the word says that we go from glory to glory. I think in our households, in our home, that we should go to another level, because if that was me, ain't no way in the world I'd be staying under having all that stuff hoarded up in my house. Are you crazy? If I dealt with that stuff from the time when I was coming up,
right?
Oh, what's gonna make it even better? Unless it's just some prematurity where they attach to the mom or the dad.
Right. Well, it sounds like there needs to be a leaving and a cleaving. And there might be a little unhealthy relationship issues going on. If your wife is afraid to leave, or I'm not going to say afraid because I don't know that. But if your wife keeps making an excuse, you need to find out what the underlying fear or concern is. Is it guilt? Is it mother or father guilt? Are they manipulating her or you to stay in a situation that's unhealthy?
Yes, and that's good. Or a false loyalty.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, because there's a such thing, and let me say this to the singles and to the married, there's a thing that's called a false loyalty that goes to your parents. You're thinking that you're still loyal even after you're married, and that's not right, because you have to learn to separate. They're just like still being cling to the breast, like a baby that's still 30 years old and still sucking on his mama's breast.
Yeah, or the ones who are 40, 50 years old still living at home saying that they're taking care of their parents. And it sounds like if you're able to save $6,000 or $7,000 to move, it sounds like to me that you have a pretty decent job where you can save that amount of money. You really need to have a serious discussion with your wife.
Right. And I wouldn't find it dishonoring by doing that, because you're taking the lead. You're taking a stand. And what you're saying is that we want to have something better for our family.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to be the same. Like, for example, I don't want to stay in the same house with my parents all the time. I want to take my wife. I want to take my kids, and I want us to excel to a different level. I want them to experience
and that's not
other neighborhoods.
Where your parents are is a bad place. If they choose to hoard, if they choose to have their home, which they own, in a certain type of way, and it's bringing disunity between you and your wife, then it's time to go. I think it'll be better for everybody. The Bible says to leave and to cleave, and a man and a woman are supposed to start their own legacy. You know, we don't put away traditions, but you have to give up that sense of allegiance to your parents because it's unhealthy.
Right. And let's explain. The false allegiance that you put there is your allegiance supposed to go to your spouse first.
That's
after you're married.
Spouse is number one.
Exactly. You honor your mother and father.
That's right.
But honor do not mean staying there. It do not mean that.
Right.
You got to get that understanding. And loyalty, your loyalty should be to your spouse.
First.
You know, exactly.
Priority.
You know, now
Switches.
if the parents ask to do something, now they just asking. Now let me make this clear. If they ask you to do something, you have the right to say yes
or no.
Just make that clear. It ain't no such thing as where they command you saying that you need to do this, you need to do that. No, you are a grown man and you are a grown woman.
Right.
So do as a husband should do as a wife should do, and follow the way the Lord
submit
wants
to one another. And the Bible says, you know, it's better for a man or woman not to make a vow than to make a vow or promise to somebody and not keep it.
Yes.
You're a liar. If you promised after 2 years and you saved the money, then you need to be a man or woman of your word and move out so that you guys can start your own legacy. Well, the bottom line is there's some dishonesty. There might be some manipulation or the G word, the guilt word. And guilt is only if you have poor intentions.
Right.
Okay, so you can't feel guilty for your parents wanting to live where they would live. My mom we tried to buy my mother another house. She does not want to move. We cannot force her, but that doesn't obligate us to continue to stay there or do anything, regarding the house or whatever. But that's their prerogative. They're adults.
That's their choice.
You're adults. You've been married 6 or 7 years now. It is time to move on.
So move.
Not to disown, not to forget, not to dishonor, but to move on. And that's the word of the Lord for you today.
Right. And if you want something creative, why not just go ahead and get the house saying, guess what, and put a bow on this house and saying like, hey, guess I got something to show you. And then you just pull up to them, have them blindfolded, and bam, that's your own house, your own deed, your own title. Even if they mad because they had to detach from them, that's okay. Just go ahead and do what you got to do. Yeah. Well, that's a very good question.
Thanks for the question.
Yes. But we also want to encourage you. In July, we're going to have our iSpark Marriage Conference.
Yes, absolutely. At Detroit World Outreach, which is our church in the Metro Detroit area. July 15th and 16th is going to be a 2-day marriage conference called Ignite.
Yes.
Next week, you'll be able to go online and register at www.dwo.org.
Yep. And we're going to try putting SOSRI.com. And remember, it's going to be our bishop that's going to be the speaker, Bishop Ben Jabert and Dr. Sharice, and also as us as well as the next day, Ron and LaShun Franklin, and we're going to have little mini sessions. So be sure to keep in contact. We're looking forward to you. Thank you for the questions. We appreciate the comments, the likes. We really love it. Just keep it coming because this is what builds us up. We love unity. We love putting healthy relationships back out there. We appreciate you. We love you. And we will talk to you on the next go round. God bless. Peace.